Hello, WHRO. I'm Lawrence Land. Love your program. Been listening to NPR and WHRO for as long as I can remember. I'm a lawyer at the World Trade Center. I'm about to tell you a story, true story that happened to me. So, a very, very long time ago, I was going to school at University of Richmond Law School. My father called me. He said, I get the student newspaper as well, and it looks like there's going to be an exciting educational program. It's an extension of University of Richmond, and they're going to have it in Canterbury, England. You're going. He didn't have to tell me twice. I said, Dad, I'm in. I've always wanted to go to Europe. So I went there, and the first night that I was there, I had a letter of introduction from the British Tourist Authority, and they put me up at this nice hotel. I'm a student. It was pretty exciting to stay in a nice place like that the first night. What an introduction. And I'm thinking as I'm flying over, am I going to belong? What's their culture like? Are they going to accept me? All these things that, just have a lot of trepidation. And so sure enough, I go to the pub, which is part of the hotel. It's a very quaint hotel. And I'm sitting there, ordered a Coke. By the way, if you don't want me to promote, I'm not trying to promote any particular product. So if you want me to say soda, I can do that too. Anyway, but the truth of the matter is I ordered a Coke, and I'm sitting by myself. I got my little travel flap jacket on, and exhausted after a very long flight. So I'm sitting there drinking a Coke, and there were two people next to me who had that wonderful British accent, who happened to be arguing. And I happened to overhear, they're right next to me, one of them said to the other, you are daft. You are daft. I've never heard that word before, so I'm giggling. I think that's amusing. I thought I said it low enough so it was just for me, and instead he looked over to me and he says, "What are you laughing at?" I said, I just heard you say the word daft, and I've never heard that word before, and I just found it amusing." And he said, "Well, now both of us are upset at you." And I said, "Oh, that's great." I said to him, I just got here. So this will be my first night here, and I've already upset two what appear to be nice people. And I said, "Why are you upset at me?" And he said, "Because you're sitting so far away from us. Join us at our table." And I did. And it's amazing how one little thing like that can change your life, because from that, they invited me to the christening of their granddaughter on their estate. These are things I had only read about. That was outside of London. And I'm going to tell you, that was a wonderful experience. And he said, "What do you want to do while you're here? Do you have a wish list?" I said, "I have one wish." I said, "But I know it won't come true." He said, "What's your wish?" I said, "I want to go to the Wimbledon finals, the tennis finals at Wimbledon." I said, "I think that Jimmy Connors is going to get to the finals." I was a tennis player, and he was a lefty. I'm a lefty, but that's where it stops. And he was number one in the world at the time. And he said, "Your wish has come true, sir." I said, "Really?" He says, "One ticket coming up for the finals at Wimbledon." I said, "You can get that for me?" He said, "It's done." I said, "Oh my God, that's exciting." So sure enough, I went there and I walked in. It was wonderful. I sat behind Elton John. Come on, you gotta tell me, that's not cool, right? So sure enough, sat behind Elton John. I met the number 30 player, women's player in the world. She happened to be best friends with Chrissy Everett. And through that, we started talking. She says, "I have 2 tickets to the Wimbledon ball tonight, and Chrissy Everett is my best friend. Would you double with us and go together with them?" Who could say no? I'm just a small town guy from Portsmouth. What am I doing here? And sure enough, we went to the Wimbledon ball with Chrissy Everett and Jimmy Connors. My wish came true. And who knew that it would all start with my giggle at this charming little bar at the Duke's Hotel in London.